Kind of look like an elf. But do elves drink eggnog latte with extra nog? You know, some people are said to dream in color, and some black and white. But after all these years, my therapist still has no theory as to why I dream in claymation. No, Santa, I didn't make jerky out of Rudolph. Why is my stomach blinking? Maybe it was the red velvet latkes and Fireball. And how does Lindsey Graham sleep at night? Easy, in Russian, with boychik toys, and boy toy chicks, and boychik toy chicks. Who wants hot cocoa? Nothing like the commercialization of Christmas to bring out the worst in merchandising entrepreneurs. Recently saw a t-shirt with the slogan, "My president gleefully ignored a once-in-a-100-year deadly pandemic, and all I got was this t-shirt, fever, cough, and inability to get the riff from Aqualung out of my head." COVID on a park bench, eyeing vaccine with bad intent. Imagine most people will take the COVID vaccine as soon as possible. Me, I'm going to wait till everyone in Major League Baseball, the NBA, and the NFL get it first. I love these games. Actually, there is a chance I'm going to get the vaccine in the next week or so. I got a guy. Sure, I had to buy a flat screen TV and some snakeskin boots from his trunk, but I figured, what the hell? I'm worth it. Problem is, when I go for a second round, I gotta somehow explain to my wife why I brought home yet another set of steak knives and a labradoodle. Don't know exactly who should be vaccinated first, but I got a pretty good idea who should be last. Rhymes with grumpers. Actually, we should vaccinate Trumpers first, so they don't infect the rest of us before we even walk into the CVS for condoms, a box of hot tamales, Red Bull, and odor eaters. Press Secretary Kayleigh Don't Mekin Any Sense said that Trump's COVID response was following science. The only thing Trump follows science with is lunch, recess, and bullying nerds he cheats off of in science and math. Speaking of Trump math, at 10 p.m. on election night, so-called bookies said we had a 97% chance to win. Trump is 97% full of shit, the balance being gluten. Nothing like the president bitching about being screwed by the bookies, refs, and opposants using stickum and greasing their jerseys with the same schmaltz Eric and Don Jr. use on their hair. And odds? There's no bigger spread than the one between Trump's ears. Even the voices in his head don't bet on that prohibitive of an underdog. Mitch McConnell said, "Americans are struggling. Democrats need to let Congress do our job and pass more relief. There's common ground. Let's make law. Let's get it done." Really? The self-proclaimed Grim Reaper is now looking across the aisle and professing to be the Grim Reacher? More like the Grim Reacher Rounder, or the Grimm's fairy tale teller, waxing backwoodish about a three-chin, two-toed sloth that lives in a decadent grotto with his warlord wife, blaming food stamp recipients for living high on the hog while they complain about their squeaky Ming Dynasty-era Lazy Susan and how difficult it is to eat through Hannity and Lou Dobbs, what with all the ruckus and all. Ta-da! I just got named showrunner for the new competition show. Can you tell I had chili for lunch? My qualifications? Well, I'm a well-known executive producer. And I had the good sense to open windows when we were doing the table read. Like I'm doing now. Oh, opening a window. On America's Funniest Home Proxies, Texas GOP Representative Louis Gohmert's tooth fell out mid-speech at a recent press conference. See, Darlene, he is one of us. Proving the adage that there's fine people on both sides of preventative dental hygiene and maintenance. Who wants chiclets? This just in. The Supreme Court rejects a bid to overturn Biden's win in Pennsylvania. Come on, man. Who bothers Clarence Thomas on Taco Tuesday? This just in. Georgia certifies Biden's win for a third time. Guess that makes Dr. Jill Biden months, pies, 3 times first lady. Speaking of Georgia, Senate runoff candidate John Ossoff debated an empty podium where David Perdue was too chicken to stand. Reports are that runoff Ossoff did a much better job than Clint Eastwood's RNC shtick 8 years ago because he used his big boy words and had way less off-putting facial tics and moles. Punk. And this just in. Ivanka Trump says her dad should be on Mount Rushmore. To be what? Pushed off? Yeah, Ivanka's always trending about something like, should she go to jail? Or, she's so stylish. Does she shop at Epstein's closet? TJ's Lane Maxwell. The gap between Barbie's ears. Kids in cages? Or Tits Up Anthropology? I know everyone's focused on Jeopardy recently, but I'd love to see Jared and Ivanka host Wheel of Fortune with Kushner turning the letters. I'd like to solve the puzzle. Bone sign an American journalist. Bonehead Trump lawyer Joe DeGeneva said Chris Krebs, former head of election cybersecurity, should be killed as retaliation for successfully doing his job. So, in the holiday spirit of peace on earth and goodwill towards man, would I love to see DeGeneva properly kissed under some prison mistletoe. Capiche? How bad did Trump lose in the Supreme Court? Even prodigal stooge Brett Kavanaugh was like, fuck it, I'm going to drink beer with Squee and Tobin. And in his 6-3 decision on strict ideological grounds, shit-faced is the new sober. With Trump's legal team, now 1 in 55, word is they're considering renaming themselves the Jets. Almost seems like they're tanking it on purpose to nail down the first pick in next year's draft. With the first pick in the 2021 draft, the Trump-like legal Jets select O.J. Simpson's gloves from the University of Southern. Are you fucking kidding me with this bullshit? Our old friend Jim Jordan said, the World Health Organization now recommends against hugging over the holidays. Like we said before, pretty soon you won't be able to say Merry Christmas. Hey Jim, go hug yourself. Sideways. Think of it as a wrestling move while no one's watching. With boughs of holly and figgy pudding. Sideways. The White House is having 25 Christmas parties. 25! And we're paying for it. That money could feed thousands of people. You know, forget about spitting. I hope the White House bakery puts boogers and extra dingleberries in their fruitcakes. Sideways. Traitorous Trumpy George Papadopoulos weighed in on the election fraud. It's off to the Supreme Court. No, it's not. Anymore. Yeah, so much for the Supreme Court. Unless that's what Melania named the new White House tennis pavilion. Hey, George, remember to wear a mask and don't touch anyone's balls. The First Lady unveiled said White House tennis pavilion to her invited besties from the Flushing Meadows tennis and COVID bubble, where she's affectionately known as Melania Navratilova, all during a constitutional crisis and generational pandemic. The event coinciding with Melania's new project, her pet project, and social media campaign. Be best mixed doubles softcore porn modeling. Has a nice ring to it. Trump is said to be planning a dramatic made-for-TV exit stage left getaway from the White House to a Florida rally on Biden's inauguration day. Fox News and ESPN Departes will simulcast what's billed as Snubbapalooza, and is rumored to feature a Melania and Barron tandem skydiving onto a topless bouncy house in Mar-a-Lago, to then be airlifted to Slovenia. I love this game. Trump said that super COVID-tastic expialidocious Rudy Giuliani didn't have a temperature while being treated at a hospital. Giuliani didn't have a temperature before he was treated in the hospital. Fahrenheit or Celsius. Zip. No visible mercury. And digitless. He's cold-blooded. As sources say, Giuliani discussed with Trump the possibility of receiving a preemptive pardon. I wouldn't pardon Giuliani for capicola farts in confession, or leaking hair dye on the set of his horror flick biopic, Spiels from the Crypt, Zombie Saliva Apocalypse, or as Rudy calls it, Spiels from the Crypt, Zombie Saliva Apocalypse. Racist Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn, man is that redundant, said China has a 5,000-year history of cheating and stealing. Thanks so much for your insight, Senator. Inquiry Minds would also love to hear how you characterize, demonize, and begrudgingly stomach the last 5,000 years in history of Africans, Latinos, Jews, Arabs, Native nations, scribes, intellectuals, gays, and fatties. Yeah, Marsha Blackburn is so popular in her home state that a lot of places are now starting to name cocktails after her. So far, you can order a vanilla sludge teeny, white supremapolitan, must have made a drunk typo in there, fuzzy Nazi, a Rocky Top stool mule, or a Rocky Top stool mule, and a Ho-Gin Fizz. Speaking of holiday spirits, we've been experiencing some unseasonably warm weather, and I may have inadvertently invented the cold toddy. It's equal parts lemonade, iced tea, whiskey, garnished by a peeled and pickled toddy. You'll find it in your grocer's toddy section. Wait, you didn't see me do that. Hey, there's somebody at the door. Who could it be? Who knocks on a car door in the middle of a mall parking lot at 10:03 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in December? Is it the repo man? A process server? Was I speeding? Maybe it's Santa or David Bowie and Bing Crosby. Oh, gather round, children. It may be a sign from the Elfin spirits in the North Pole of Canada, encouraging me, for the first time finally, to star in my very own Michael Bublé Christmas special. It's beginning to look a lot like Bublé. Buble, where you go. Have yourself a Buble little Christmas. Sleigh bells ring. Are you Buble? In the land, I'm still Buble. A Buble filled side, we're Buble tonight. Buble in a Buble land. Buble night, Buble night. Buble well, Buble right. Buble roasting on an open fire. Buble's nipping at your nose. Buble tots with their eyes all aglow. And Jack Sconson's got Buble toes. Oh, Buble, 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 I made it out of clay. And when it's dry and ready, then Buble I will play. On the first night of Buble, my Buble gave to me a Buble in a pear tree. Oh, you Buble, watch out. You Buble not cry. You Buble not shout. I'll Buble you why. Santa Buble's coming to town. Buble around the Buble tree. Have a Buble holiday. Last Buble, I gave you my heart for the Buble last time. Step into Buble, let's get together. We can walk the Buble forever and ever. Buble, having a wonderful Buble time. Big finish! All I want for Buble is you. Buble Christmas, everybody! Buble Hanukkah, Buble Kwanzaa, and a very Buble New Year! 'Cause after this past year, we could all use one huge Buble redo. Buble you later!